Hola, hola señores, muy buenas tardes, ¿cómo están todos? Les damos la bienvenida hoy a otra transmisión más con la Galería Colombiana. Hoy tenemos a una invitada muy especial, su nombre es INGRID LEFEVRE. Ella es miembro oficial de la Mundial Art Academia en Bélgica y hoy nos viene a mostrar un poco sobre su trabajo. Hello Ingrid, how are you?
Hello, Sandra. I'm fine. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you for answering our invitation.
And thank you also for doing the interview with me. It's a big honor.
I think now the situation is really difficult for all this pandemic. You know, for this COVID, we have a really difficult situation. How is going on this situation in Belgium?
Well, in Belgium, it's also like in many other countries, it has been a difficult period, starting in the month of March, that in fact all the exhibitions, they put it in a later datum. Everything was cancelled, so that was the most difficult part, that we had less social contact. Also between friends, between other artists. But anyway, an artist is working a lot at home. So for me, in fact, the first weeks, I was a lot more here in my house. So I also painted a lot. Was a time to be busy in the house, to go on painting.
Yeah, muchachos, Ingrid nos está contando un poco que la situación en Bélgica está pues lo mismo que acá en Colombia, que los artistas también están haciendo similar, están pintando desde sus casas y que pues ha sido pues como una transición difícil, yo creo que a través para todos en el mundo. Ingrid, how long you been part of the Mundial Art Academia?
It will be now about 1 year and a half that I am member of the Mondial Art Academia, and then later I became the delegate for the watercolor artists of Belgium, who are member of Mondial Art Academia also.
Ingrid, how long you been artist? How you becoming to be artist?
Well, in fact, I was already busy with painting and drawing when I was very little, when I was a child. And then later I went here in my city, in Ghent, to the art school, where I follow monumental art that was different disciplines, was drawing, painting, but we also did weaving, batik, several things, was also about art history. And then later I went on myself. I did a lot of drawing with live model, portrait, also nude. Um, Before I did a lot with pencil, with pastel, um, more drawing, but later I found, in fact, my passion in the watercolor. In the beginning, I learned with watercolor, with workshops, and then I went on myself as an autodidact, because watercolor, you cannot learn that here in the academy. You have to follow workshops. I did several workshops with painters here in Belgium, but also with international watercolor artists. And then I learned it in function of especially painting portraits, but I also later did other subjects with it, like old-timer cars from Cuba, or flowers, animals. So
Yes, I think it's really interesting. I will show, give me a moment. Muchachos, ahí nos está hablando Ingrid de que ella pues empezó un proceso largo desde que estaba pequeña porque se empezó a sentir pues interesada en el arte por las pinturas del estriar, por todo lo que ella pues veía en su entorno en Bélgica, que es una cosa pues también muy interesante porque ella estuvo cargada todo el tiempo con con ese tipo de imágenes. Aquí vamos a mostrarles un poco, señores, estos son imágenes de algunos trabajos de Ingrid. Ingrid es especialista en acuarela. En acuarela, acá les voy a mostrar una de estas obras. Ingrid, we can, un momento, what is this about? Tell us what is this.
well, this is a painting that, in fact, I made recently during the period of the COVID, because we all had to stay at home. And if we go out, we have to wear a mask, but a lot of people were constantly at home. Me also. I don't have a dog anymore, but I have a cat. For a lot of people, the animal, the dog or the cat or whatever, was a big support, was the only companion they have in that period. So I find it a nice image to paint, the girl close with her dog, the connection between that girl and the animal. I also like to bring in the paintings always a certain light in it, because it makes it more attractive. I find it a beautiful image, the two of them together.
Ingrid, bueno, muchachos, ella nos está contando un poco de que está pues muy contenta de haber encontrado esa imagen porque fue una imagen donde ella vio pues la relación como las más cercanas que ella tenía era pues esa imagen hermosa de la relación entre la niña y su mascota. Ella la vio como una imagen que era pues digna de ser pintada porque le gustó. Entonces, y es muy interesante esta técnica de Ingrid. Ingrid, tell us little more. This is really difficult to painting in watercolor because this is
Mhm.
amazing. No, this is figurative. You know, this is
Mhm.
uh, how you
Mhm.
are doing this.
Well, of course, I always start with the drawing, and the drawing, in this painting, has to be ali exact. I always put enough details. What is important in portrait is of course, the expression in the faces, the eyes. So I start with the drawing, and then if it is needed, I put some masking fluid to keep certain parts really white, so that I don't paint on top of it. I use also, in this case, I use also paper of Sanders and Waterford, but high white paper, 300 gram. So then when that is done, I start with the darkest part for the eyes, what is the most dark. And then, in fact, I work with a lot of layers. I do layers with cold colors, and then I do layers with warm colors. I have a certain, in fact, I use always the same colors, the same mixture of colors, to have a certain orange, to have a certain purple. And then at the end, I put the last layers to really give the skin tones. And in this painting, I keep the background very sober. This is a portrait of a bride. So here was also about the intense emotion. She doesn't look so very happy, so maybe she was forced to marry. That I don't know. But I also work in the same way. The drawing, then I put some masking fluid to keep the little details
Ingrid,
white. Yeah.
sorry, I think I will explain to our public what is
Okay.
this
Sure.
for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Bueno, muchachos, Ingrid nos está explicando acá en esta figura, ya nos está diciendo que para ella hacer este trabajo en acuarela, que ella primero hace una serie de capas para poder ir consiguiendo esta figura que ustedes ven ahí. La acuarela, yo no sé si ustedes saben, señores, pero es una de las técnicas que en lo figurativo es muy difícil trabajar. Y Ingrid lo ha logrado pues a un nivel, pues, digamos, lo que es diferente, también con su estilo, con su cotidianidad, pues esto es una cosa diferente. Aquí nos está explicando que esta es una imagen de una muchacha que ella tomó, que posiblemente ella se estaba casando, pero que en esta imagen se ve la mujer como un poco triste, no estaba contenta, entonces que posiblemente era que lo más normal era que estaba siendo forzada para hacer el matrimonio. Eh, okay, Ingrid, we can keep going with that. I
Okay.
explained already the marriage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we can keep going with that. We can explain maybe this one.
This one also is a bit about the same, the connection between. Wait,
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The image is gone.
Okay, I will try to show again. Momento.
Mm-hmm.
In a moment. not everything is perfect, you know.
No, no,
Okay, but so we
that
can,
can happen. Mm,
this is internet connections. Oh, for example, look this. You can talk about this.
mm. Well, this painting is based on a photo that is made in Cuba. I was there in a visit in Cuba because I have family there. And then with my husband, we were walking in the street in Havana and we found a little shop of a photographer and he had really fantastic photos. It was a black and white photo and immediately it captured my attention. I found it so strong. And then I explained to the photographer that I was a painter if he gave me the permission to use his photo. So that was okay for him. So then later, when I came back in Belgium, I decided to make a painting in colors, but not too much colors, of this black and white photo because the scene for me was very intense. So I always work in the same way, drawing, and then if it's needed, masking fluid, and then in several layers. This boy is the this boy. His name was Julius on this portrait, the last one.
In this, I will explain to people
Okay.
what is about, I think, before. You
Mhm.
know, muchachos, esta escena que estábamos viendo anteriormente, esta fue una escena que movió mucho a Ingrid y que ella dijo pues que ella iba caminando y que realmente pues estos son escenas que las personas no ven mucho, pero que a ella la movió pues sí, en el corazón y el alma todo lo que ella sintió cuando vio esta escena. En la próxima imagen, ella nos dice que es un chico, se llama Julius. Who is
Mhm.
Julius? Ingrid?
Well, this portrait was in a commission, so was somebody asked me to paint her children. So
Okay,
was one of three portraits, but I liked a lot the expression in his face. He was so cute. So it was a series of three portraits of three children, and I made the background was more or less was the same colors, but still every time a bit different. This is my cat.
yeah, these cats.
It's
Yes,
my own cat. Yeah.
yes, I was
So
talking about
it's
this.
a. Mhm.
Okay, look, this is beautiful too.
This painting, well, I don't know who this girl was a photo that was free to use. I gave her myself the name Lucy in the Sky because I don't know, I had to think in the song of Lucy in the Sky. So,
Listen the Sky. Ella está diciendo que esa chica del anterior de la foto, que este es su gato, el gato de su casa, y esta es una chica que ella la llamó Lucy en el cielo.
okay.
Entonces es una cosa pues, interesante y bonita también. Acá, Ingrid, we have, this is Cuba, or
Yeah, yeah. I painted a lot of several Cuban cars. I also did a lot of Cuban portraits because I have a connection with the people there. So
cool.
I did several things about Cuba. Yes.
Yeah, and this one,
This one is I was with my children in the circus, and then I made several photos. And it went very quick. There were clowns, and this person, his name is Samuel. He was an acrobat, and also he was the director of the circus. So I made several quick photos, and then at home I find it so beautiful. Again, I like the play with the light and dark. So I painted his portrait. I also painted several clowns. And then later I went back to the circus to show the portraits, and people were happy with it. This person is the husband of a friend I know in Facebook, and so is her husband with the dog, and they were taking a siesta. And again, I was very attracted. Again, the connection of the person between his animal and the play with the light and the dark and the sun. I find it fantastic. So
Yeah, I think you are you are thinking this is the best company now. The best parents, the best partner. I love the
mhm.
animals, I love dogs. Chicos, ella nos está explicando que eso siempre ha sido como una conexión que ella tiene y que ha visto, pues que siempre la ha movido, porque le encanta ver como la conexión entre las personas y los animales, entre esa relación que hay que los mueve, pues, en el sentimiento. Ahí nos estaba hablando anteriormente de una imagen de un chico que estaba trabajando pues en otro nivel, con otras, pues era un amigo cercano de su casa. Acá vamos a ver, Ingrid, and what is that, please?
This person, his name is Waré. He is also a Facebook friend of me. He is an artist. He's a musician, a singer, and he also makes tattoos. He lives in Bangladesh, but he is part of a minority ethnical group in Bangladesh. So I painted him already 2 times. Again, I like the play with the lights and the sun in the glasses. This painting has been exposed in the beginning of this year in Sardinia, in the Galleria SD, in the exhibition they have done there.
Oh yeah, because we can see, for example, here this exhibition where this was.
This was for a solo exhibition, was already several years ago. So that was a few of my portraits that I put in the card was an invitation.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is there
So
in Berlin, Belgium, person.
this was several. This is a painting that was with a Belgian group in Fabriano, I think 2017, because it's now several years that every year I participated in the big event in Fabriano in Italy, and I also went to there. It's always fantastic to meet many people there. They do demonstration activities. It's very nice. But this year, unfortunately, because also of COVID, it was only a virtual, not only, but it was a virtual exhibition. So I hope next year will be again okay.
Then this one.
Uh, yeah, that was when I participated in a very nice exhibition also in Belgium, in the southern part in Mons. I was there with a series of 4 paintings, very big ones about dancers. I also give a demonstration, was on the 8th of March, and by coincidence was the International Day of the Women. So that was very nice also.
Yeah, and this.
The painting of the girl is mine, and
Yeah.
was there in the exhibition last year that was organized by the International Watercolor Society of Bulgaria. So the exhibition started in Varna, was very well done. So that painting was in exhibition. I went there for the opening. I stayed there 2 weeks, and then later the exhibition went from one city to another and was really fantastic done. The leader of Bulgaria is Salma Todorova and was really fantastic done.
Señores, ahí nos está explicando Ingrid que su obra pues ha participado en muchos tours, en muchos recorridos por Europa, que ha pasado de ciudad en ciudad y que por ejemplo esta ha sido una de las experiencias que ahí estamos viendo porque ha sido una obra que ha estado moviéndose de galería en galería, o sea que son proyectos que se están compartiendo entre ciudades. También les iba a contar un poco de lo que ella nos estaba contando anteriormente, que nos estaba diciendo que ella había participado en varias exposiciones, pero que este año también ella siempre participa en una serie de exposiciones en Bélgica, pero este año pues obviamente por el COVID todo se detuvo, pero ella ha estado pues en muchos procesos todo el tiempo y cada año tiene una serie de exposiciones con las galerías y los artistas. También estábamos hablando un poco, sobre el proceso de Ingrid ya como ya como artista, porque mira que lograr un trabajo así es una cosa impresionante y más que todo trabajar en este momento la técnica de la acuarela es una cosa complicada. Ingrid, this is, I think we have 5 minutes before we leave, and I
Okay.
would like to ask you, how many exhibitions you was doing until the moment?
A lot.
Approximately.
I have many in many countries, but how much I cannot say, but it's a lot. I was in many countries, in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Portugal, Canada, in France, yeah, in several countries. So I have to think. Several exhibitions here in Belgium, in Greece, in Italy. So yeah, I was recently was in Romania, in Kosovo, in Sarajevo. So
Wow.
yeah.
Sarajevo. I don't know Sarajevo. This is, yeah, it's one of my dreams going there. Ingrid, and I want to ask you a little bit before we finish. I want
Okay.
to ask you what recommendation you can tell to new artists, to emerging artists. Why you can tell them.
Well, I think for the artists, the people who start with watercolor, it is not an easy technique. It is a technique that is underestimated. It needs a lot of exercise in the beginning. Maybe you will say, "Oh, I don't like it. It's too difficult," but you just have to go on, to exercise a lot. I paint. In fact, I paint almost every day. You exercise a lot. In the beginning, you can do workshops, and you have to look a lot, to investigate, to examine, to try out things, and just follow your heart, follow the style that that suits you best, that you like to do the most. You can try to do something more difficult. Is a medium with so many styles, so many possibilities, and every painter has his own style. I recognize with many paintings from who it is. So after a while, people will start to recognize if it is your painting. They also say that to me, but I don't see it of myself. but it seems to be that they see my hand in a painting. So, but is a medium, once you are able to work with it, is also a lot of study of pigment, of kind of paper, the pencils, the brushes, everything is important. Um, one will like this paper, another one that paper. So it's a lot of searching, but once you get a technique, it's fantastic. You will not stop with it, and it becomes a passion. That is
Thank
my.
you very much. Thank you very much for the recommendation, Ingrid.
Mhm.
Muchachos, le pregunté a Ingrid qué recomendación le daba a los artistas emergentes y ella dice que tienen que trabajar todos los días, que la constancia y la disciplina son muy importantes. También nos está diciendo que es muy importante que un artista encuentre la técnica. ¿Sí me entiende? Es muy importante. Ella dice que después de que el artista encuentre la técnica, ya es más fácil que empiece a ser reconocido en un mercado. Que muchos amigos a ella le decían que, por ejemplo, que ella ya tenía su estilo, pero que ella ni siquiera se daba cuenta, pero que ella, incluso con sus amigos, ya empiezan a crear un estilo que puede ser reconocible. Entonces, esa es la recomendación por parte de Ingrid, que encuentren su estilo y que lo trabajen para que puedan estar enlazados pues con una línea de trabajo que sea consecuente. Ingrid, thank you very much for being here with us. I love you, painter. Welcome anytime to Colombian Art Gallery. And you have to visit Colombia.
Yeah, I hope one day I can go to Colombia. Would be very nice to
Yes,
see
no,
your country, and I never have been in Colombia, so
no, Colombia is beautiful. You will love it. It
I
is
believe you.
a lot of different cultures here. It's beautiful. Muchachos, muchas gracias a todos por los que estuvieron aquí conectados. Elizabeth, no te puedo responder las preguntas. Estamos un poco tarde de tiempo. Dolly Delgado desde Estados Unidos, muchas gracias. Joan Pierre, Joan de la Mundial Art Academia, muchas gracias por siempre estar apoyándonos y estar acá con nosotros. Amparito Villegas, muy bien estar acá con nosotros, también apoyándonos. Elizabeth, no sé dónde me está escribiendo, qué trabajo tan expresivo, muy lindo, felicitaciones. La técnica indudablemente debe ser muy precisa. Dónde aprendió y cómo inició su trabajo. Bueno, ya Elizabeth, te contactamos, te voy a contestar, te vamos a contestar por el interno porque ya se nos acaba el tiempo, pero muchas gracias señores a todos los que estuvieron conectados con nosotros. Enviamos un mensaje, también estamos muy contentos porque el artista John Fitzgerald ya desistió de su campaña que estaba realizando en contra de su vida. Acabamos de hacer unas publicaciones donde mañana íbamos a hacer una conexión exactamente para decir de que no apoyamos nada que esté en contra de atentar contra la vida de las personas. John Fitzgerald, felicitaciones, pues aclamamos y pues sí, celebramos esta decisión porque no queríamos que pasara nada malo, que te pasara nada malo, no te conozco, no eres mi amigo personal, pero sí la verdad no es algo bonito uno saber que una persona está tentando contra su vida acá en estas redes y nosotros no podemos hacer nada. Entonces, damos un buen like para eso, John Figueral. Esperamos que se mejore tu salud y que pues encontremos otros caminos para iniciar el diálogo. Muchachos, muchas gracias a todos. Gracias, Ingrid. Gracias,
Thank
John.
you very much. Muchas gracias,
Gracias,
Sandra.
John. Gracias a todos por estar y por participar. John, la mejor energía, muchacho, y que la verdad, pues, todo sea para bien. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.